Gaming news today is all about Death Stranding 2 and what I feel is the beginning of the Game of the Year fight, since up to now it's been pretty much agreed Expedition 33 has that award sort of locked down. But I continue to say if there was one person that could unseat them or overtake them in the contest, it would be Kojima with Death Stranding 2. Up to now, everything they've shown with the game has been impressive, but they really started to blow people away just at the end of Summer Game Fest with a game premiere in a theater with Geoff Keighley and some of the cast. And I want to talk about why I think this is now the fight. The fight is between Death Stranding 2 and Expedition 33, and I know people are like, well, it's not even out yet. How could you possibly be saying this? Well, before Expedition 33 came out, I said that's going to be a Game of the Year contender. I believe there are markers in gameplay reveals, trailers, and just the overall feel of a game that will land it in those categories. I think very similarly, I said things about Black Myth Wukong before it came out. I said that's probably going to be a Game of the Year contender. You can just sort of start to sense these things after years of analyzing trailers and gameplay. So I want to walk through all of the reasons that I think this: innovation, fidelity, cinema quality, how much he's willing to show, and let's consider Expedition 33 in the equation. If you like this kind of content, I sort of open up the show with, a topic, opinion, or gaming news, and then I discuss it with the live audience. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on the content. And I do extra shows. I do a morning coffee segment and then a green room in the afternoon, and you can't get in there unless you're a member. So consider clicking join and pick Member Plus for $6. If you're on Twitch, same deal. Use your primes or your normal subs, and you get into that extra content as well as no ads on Twitch. So let's just kind of get into this. I'm going to probably do maybe a more full video on this in the coming days, so be on the lookout for that. So why do I think that the Game of the Year fight and the battle has just sort of started with this reveal that Kojima did? First, let's just talk innovation. Anytime a game like this comes out, you're sort of expecting, well, it's a sequel, so it's going to be more of the same, or it's just going to be more of a, what many people called a walking simulator. Now, like many of you, I bounced off Death Stranding 1, but the more I saw for Death Stranding 2, the more I said, I've got to figure out what I missed here. It seems like I missed out on a masterpiece. And I think they've kind of figured out that the beginning of Death Stranding 1 was not the greatest setup. There were very long cutscenes. I anticipate there being long cutscenes in Death Stranding 2, but I do think they're going to try to smooth some of those edges over. They've made remarks about just traversal in general is a little bit more straightforward. But I also think they're not going to just sort of leave it in this sort of basic traversal game. And one of the ways they're doing that with innovation is with the dynamic weather events. Later in this segment, they actually show an earthquake take place and the topography changes. Rocks come tumbling down. A path that he might have been able to take, like he's on right now, basically gets destroyed by the earthquake. And the way the physics of the rocks and everything falling, if we get to that here in my show open, you will see it's actually very impressive. But even more impressive than that, to really create an immersive touchstone and an experience unlike any other game that you may have played. Some games have done this, but not to the degree necessarily that we're seeing here. They are using procedural music. So when he comes down off of the slope here and goes into sort of a deeper valley, elements of the music go away and you hear less. And so it sort of brings this sense of like less to the music because you're sort of down low. You're not sort of like cresting over, this high height and seeing the sunrise or sunset or just like a vast open space. And the music is then going to respond to those things. So I think these are the things that are going to be highly praised by the review circuit and the people who end up voting in Game of the Year. It will make this game more memorable than the last. It will make this game more memorable than probably any open world game that you have ever played, because it will start to actually feel like a game that responds to you and feels alive and feels real, from the dynamic weather events to the music itself. One of the things about open world games that is commonly complained about is that they don't really feel like an open world. They sort of feel like a giant open space surrounded by paintings that you can't really interact with. This game is one of the few games that if you see it, you can actually try to go there. I showed this to friends of mine last night at a cookout, and they were absolutely blown away. They said there's no way that is real, and they were honestly tempted to buy PlayStations to play this. And they're not gamers, but they were like, I would want to experience something like that. That looks absolutely incredible. And on that token, the next thing I want to talk about is the fidelity. The fidelity of this game right now, I think, is unmatched. I have said that AC Shadows with global illumination turned on is sort of the best next-gen game I've played this gen on the Pro. It's delivering well above what I even expected to get. I expected to get good-looking games at 60 FPS. I didn't necessarily expect to get games with that level of lighting. And Death Stranding 2 is, to me, hitting even higher than that game did. The environments, the scenes that we have seen are so far beyond the uncanny valley. Like, it feels real. And playing this on your big screen in your living room with the music reacting and the world reacting, the fidelity is just one more immersion touch point where you will literally feel like you are in these places and in these spaces. And I think that's another thing that will make this game stand out. The immersive quality of a game is one of the single most memorable things it can do. It leaves an impact on you when you feel like you had an experience. You didn't just play a video game. I've talked about this before, where you are in a video game and you're constantly reminded that you are in a video game and how that can be very detrimental to the experience. This seems like it's doing everything it can to make you forget that you are in a video game and that you are actually just having an experience trying to trek out across various biomes and threatening places. They also showed combat, which I thought was a rough showing because the player was having some difficulty, but it looked really, really good. The fidelity looked insane to me with the fireworks and everything else. The other thing I want to talk about is the cinematic quality of the game. It doesn't just look like high fidelity, realistic, like lighting and shadows. There's a cinema quality here. It feels like there's something more than just a video game. Like, there is a story, there's deeper meaning, there's epic moments. There's a scene with Elle Fanning's character where she sort of puts her hair up and gets into this fight. And it honestly feels like something that you would see on the big screen. And we know that Kojima is sort of fascinated by movies, wants to make movies. He even referred to the one camera shot as a Peter Jackson camera shot. And so to me, this is one of the other reasons that I could see this game going very, very far and being very, very highly praised, which has to do with the next thing I want to talk about. Kojima is showing an unbelievable amount of footage. Right? You've got to be really, really confident if you're willing to show this much. If he's showing us all of this, you have to ask, what is he not showing us, right? The preview event that they've already had, they let people play 40 hours of the game over multiple days, and that was a preview event. So that's one last piece of this puzzle that really makes me think this game is headed for the game of the year. I kept saying that I couldn't see Expedition 33 getting unseated, so let's just talk about that briefly at the end here. Why have I been saying that, you're going to have a really, really hard time unseating Expedition 33? Well, it's the media darling. It's this year's Baldur's Gate 3. The soundtrack went viral. There are memes everywhere. It's really hard to unseat something that is publicly beloved. It would be like trying to cancel Keanu Reeves. You just couldn't do it. I mean, you'd have to have something pretty scathing, right? Like, I just didn't like him, or he was mean in an interview. He's publicly beloved. It's really hard to unseat that. And you can see that when somebody like that keeps getting cast in certain roles and they keep showing up in movies because everybody loves them, right? I think the same can be said for video games. Once the public has decided, hey, this is our game, this is the game that we love, it's really, really hard to unseat it. It's really, really hard to pull them down from that. And I forgot to end morning coffee. I'm going to do that now and bring people over. Whoops. Anyways, so that I think is a huge significant aspect to the fact that, Expedition 33 is the current frontrunner. It is the game that will be tough to beat, okay? The other thing I think people really, really like, and you're sort of seeing this take prominence in the dialogue today around gaming, is the David versus Goliath. Everybody loves that type of a story. It's an ancient story and we use it as an idiom, okay? People love seeing this small team narrative right now. It's got a AAA vibe, and yet it's got a AAA feel, and yet it was made by 30 people. Keep an eye out for a video this week from me or in the near future about what I feel like is going to be another Expedition 33 game this year. I think there's another game that's going to crop up and pull that same kind of love. And I think people like to see that. They like to see the small studios kind of swing above their weight class. So I do think Expedition 33 is the game to beat, and it's going to be very, very difficult. If Kojima doesn't win, I won't have any problem with that because Expedition 33 has my full attention right now, and I'm only in Act 2. The other question that keeps coming up, though, is what about all these other games, man? Why are we discounting these other games? You really just think it comes down to Expedition 33 and Death Stranding 2? Yeah, I do. If you look at the way people talk about video games, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, highly praised, worthy of awards, will probably get some. But they weren't talking about it the way that people have been talking about Expedition 33, and I definitely think we're going to see similar dialogue about Death Stranding 2. People ask about Ghost of Yotei. It's one of my most anticipated games this year. But I have to be honest about that type of game. I love Ghosts of Tsushima, but the sequel to that game, the genre that it falls in, I just think there's a ceiling on what that game can do. You're not going to see dynamic weather events and earthquakes or procedural music or a story and a soundtrack that captivates the entire gaming world like we've seen with Expedition 33. I just don't think Yotei is going to do that. There's also Split Fiction. You know, that was a fan favorite for a while because we saw It Takes Two win, and this is basically the spiritual sequel to It Takes Two. Monster Hunter Wilds was highly praised. You got the little ones, right? The Blueprints type games. Why aren't they going to win? I genuinely think that the two frontrunners are Expedition 33 and Death Stranding 2 because they're talked about in a way that transcends just talking about a good game. They're talked about as if they're art, as if they're an experience. And I think when you start to land in that way in people's minds, nothing will be able to beat you in the run for the Game of the Year. So right now, unseating Expedition 33 is an enormous task. And there's only one person who I think's up to the task, and that's Kojima with Death Stranding 2. So I would love to know what you guys think. Live audience, if you're here, smash the like button. So sorry about forgetting to redirect. I'm going to have to start to put that into my monologue notes because this new format that we're doing, I'm not accustomed to having to redirect morning coffee whenever I'm in the middle of my monologue. That's like a new thing that we're trying to... I feel like we're getting better results. We'll see if we're getting better results from doing that. Live turnout's been kind of all over the place. And then I'm going to need to make sure that morning coffee is no longer hitting like homepages and sub feeds because it's now just like a past broadcast of a member stream. There we go. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let me get the chat popped out here. My new setup is just not ideal, but we're just going to run with it because it makes rebooting my streaming rig a whole lot easier. Even though it still did the exact same thing last night. Even with one monitor, it still does it, but it's a lot easier to get it back on. I just do like a hard boot and it's fine. I don't know why this black screen thing is happening, and it's not even a Dell monitor anymore. It's an Asus monitor. So, yeah. Anyway, honestly, it was more than just 30 people. They had other studios help them with them, I'm almost positive. Yeah, the Expedition 33 narrative about how, like, oh, it was just 30 people, I still think that's, like, a real charming thing to point out. It is a small studio. It is a small studio, but they were helped. But I don't think they were helped by, like, thousands of employees or something. Like, it was certainly more than 30, but I don't think we can discount the fact that it still was a small studio endeavor. I think it's going to come down to this, says Nightfire. I love Expedition 33. It's a love level to JRPGs and a masterclass in how to make a great RPG. The salt in rub in Death Stranding is going to grab the industry by its throat and drag it forward. It's one of those games that will change how games are made for decades after. I forgot to make stuff for Mind's Eye. That's today, isn't it? We'll have to do that at the end of my next stream. I completely forgot that Mind's Eye is today. Can it be installed and played? Are people even doing it? I'm amazed at it if it even ships today, but we're supposed to be checking it out as a gameplay stream, and I completely forgot. Expedition 33 is in the indie catalog. It'll be considered an indie game, even though lots of people helped work on it. Guys, if you haven't hit the like button yet on YouTube, do me a favor and do that. The more than 30 is lame. The core studio responsible for the masterpiece. Right. I don't think driving this this narrative that like, oh, it's less than 30 or whatever is necessarily, you know, a requirement in the conversation. I think they still deserve credit. How to Fix Mind's Eye Crashes on a PS5 is got 28 views. That apparently is a problem. Are people not even able to play the dadgum game? Okay. The saying is salt in the rub. The salt in the rub. I don't know if I've ever heard that saying before as an idiom. The salt in the rub. The salt in the rub. It refers to the salt component of a spice rub, a mixture of dry spices used to season meats, poultry. Okay. As an idiom, though? Like, yeah. No, not to rub salt in the wound. Yeah. Never heard that? Yeah, I've never heard it either. Go back and play it. The game opens up at Chapter 5. It's because once you learn everything, the game changes into pretty much Metal Gear Solid with traveling tools. It's DOA. What's DOA? What are you saying is DOA, Petrov? Baldur's Gate 3 is independent. Cyberpunk is independent. It just means they don't have a parent publisher. Yeah, getting in a debate about what's independent and what's not is sort of unhelpful. Mind's Eye is DOA. Oh, Mind's Eye. Yeah, we still wanted to like talk about it. We still wanted to do you know, a gameplay you know, session of it. Hang on one second. I got to reply to this now because sometimes if you don't, I'd be happy to discuss this. If you don't reply, you'll have to like wait an extra long time. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, Mind's Eye releases today. Let's see here. Mind's Eye Metacritic. Are the reviews hitting yet? I don't understand. There aren't even reviews available yet. It releases in 2.5 hours. So it releases at noon. Oh, we've got to be in there when that opens up. Can you pre-order right now? Can you pre-order and pre-install Fuzzy? Or you literally can't do... Can you do anything with the game right now? You can pre-order. Can you pre-install? Has anybody pre-installed the game? I need to know because I would need to do that now ahead of time so that it's ready to go. Am I getting Mind's Eye? Yeah, we're definitely checking it out today because I think it's going to be an absolute car crash. I don't think they sent review copies. Young A's had Death Stranding 2 for a week now. Oh yeah, plenty of people have had Death Stranding 2. It's going to be like a little over a 3-week review period. No one got review codes. No, you cannot do anything with the game. Yes, the game is pre-installed on my PS5 right now. Okay, so you can pre-install it. Shoot. I really messed up, folks. I completely forgot about that game. I was like, I felt this morning like I was forgetting something, and I was like, what am I forgetting? No real talk about Mind's Eye. That's why it might be DOA. The only talk about it is that it doesn't look good, and the staff are abandoning ship at the last minute. I mean, it makes perfectly good sense why. I've said from the very beginning that it looked like absolute, that it looks like trash. I've said to people, I was like, that doesn't look like a game to me. That looks like it's like very slapped together. I think I left my PlayStation in standby. Can I install from the app? Download from... Yeah. Download your games to console directly from your library. Download. Yeah. I can. I think that's the one that was just on. How can I check which PlayStation was just on? Is it just going to be automatically the one at the top of the list? It should be the one at the top of the list, I would think. Select downloads to track or cancel your remote downloads. All right, it says waiting. I'll try again if it doesn't do anything, so I can just stay here in the chair with y'all instead of like getting up and leaving the room. You named all your PS5s. Yeah, I probably should do that. I've never really had the need to name them because, like, it usually when I use the portal, it shows you how recently the thing had been turned on. Yeah, it just says waiting. So let me go back and let me pick a different one. View download status. I don't know which one it is. I don't know which one it is. If it said Pro, it would at least narrow it down. All right, let me try on this one. And then go to view download status. And then go to that one. They all just say waiting. I know it's not this one because that's got Eternal Strands at the top. That's my wife's. This one's mine. Okay. If it's in standby, it should be working, but it just says waiting. Hang on one second. It was not in standby. I forgot. My wife and I played more RoboQuest last night, and I shut everything down when we were done. Mind's Eye is... It's 30 FPS on the console? I wouldn't have bought it. I'm getting a refund on that one. I'm getting a refund on that one because I have not downloaded it. No, if you download it, they will not give you your money back. I got to do that right now. I got to try to get a refund. You just bought it to hate on anyway, it will suck. Yeah, but I'm not going to play a 30 FPS game just to make content with it. That's stupid. That's absolutely stupid. Got to play it now? No, I am not. Absolutely not. Even for content purposes, I don't do that. I will not play a 30 FPS game. The only reason I made content with Revenge of the Savage Planet is because I couldn't get a refund on it. My wife and I had already played it. And I played it with Hilly through Game Pass on PC. Maybe the Pro can run it at 60. Refund abuser status enabled. No, I'm not abusing anything. I'm getting money back on something that I didn't know there was. How is it not 60? It's struggling, bouncing between 30 and 50. I don't know. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Charles Freeman. Hang on, I can't see what Twitch is saying. What happened? I was going to play Mind's Eye today, and we found out it's a 30 FPS game. And I said, F that, I'm not doing that. That's a waste of my time. They're claiming the Pro version runs at 60. We still want to see it. Google says 60, take that as you will. On the Pro, it's up to 60. Friday night incentive. I don't know. That's got to be like a goal or something, dude. I'm not about to play that. That seems like a complete and utter waste of our time. They claim it runs 60. You can find people playing. It's not 60. You beating Mind's Eye would be more of a challenge than beating Sekiro. DM for what it's worth. All right, hang on a second. It's struggling to maintain a stable 30. Gameplay footage seen frame rates fluctuating between 35 and 50. While the game is visually impressive on the PS5, the frame rate performance is not as smooth. The PS5 Pro version achieving 60. Oh, a YouTube video shows a PS5 Pro version achieving 60 with ultra graphics. Well, now we almost have to do it for science. If they're saying that it can, or there's videos claiming that it can, we almost have to test it for the sake of the public to be like, don't buy this at all. You got to at least try it out for 10 minutes. Dadgummit. I just like unplugged my PlayStation's Ethernet cable and turned it off. I was like, they're not getting my money. Let's go. A Member Plus renewal from Brian. We're 25 minutes in. That's the first one. There it is. 305. Thank you so much, Brian. He says, got your coffee in the mail today. Still looking forward to playing Mind's Eye this afternoon, drinking Reforged Roast. Well, thank you for getting some Reforged Roast. The current member battle is tied 1-1, and it is now a 20-bomb setup. Guys, 20 members, and you can steal it, whether it's Twitch or YouTube. Whoever hits the milestone gets the gifted members. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for the turnout. Guys on YouTube, thanks for 100 likes. Keep smashing the like button. All right, I'll let it install, dadgummit. Give me a second. Okay. Review embargo is tomorrow. Hilarious. Yeah, let's get that tweet out. These frickin' losers. I told you guys this game was a frickin' scam. From the very beginning, I said, homies, no, there is something wrong here. The fricking embargo is tomorrow in the middle of the day. That's not sus at all. No. Here we go. Heads up, the Mind's Eye game review embargo is an entire day after the release of the game. I tried to warn folks this game was not passing the smell test. That is like, I tried to warn folks this game was not passing the smell test. So that you couldn't get more sus. I mean, how much more sus could you get? Yeah, you can't review, like right now, if somebody were to buy the game and play it for the next 10 hours, and they put together a quick review, they can't have the review even hit Metacritic until tomorrow afternoon at like 3 in the afternoon. You can play it today. It doesn't make sense. Of course it doesn't make sense. They don't want anybody being able to go to Metacritic and see an aggregate score of the game. They're trying to maximize revenue on a game that, I'm telling you, it is a total scam. It's looked like a scam from the beginning. We saw, when I call it, do I call it? We watched that first trailer, and I was like, listen, that doesn't look like gameplay. It looks fake. It literally had the day before vibe. It had that vibe to it. I was like, I look like you're showing me fake gameplay footage. Every clip I see of people playing the game looks like garbage. You did, in fact, call it. I mean, I got that from 1,000 yards away. I was like, I don't know about that game, boys. That something doesn't feel right. Wait for the rug pull on that year-long roadmap. Embargo is only enforceable against someone you gave a review copy to. Well, the user score... Yeah, it says, please spend some time playing the game. Come back to review it starting... Yeah, like, you can't even review it as a user. Like, you... You can't even review it as a user. Like, if the game is trash and you want to go to Metacritic to be like, hey, the game is trash, you can't even log a score. It has a 4.8 on Xbox? What the frick? How? Let's read these reviews, shall we? Lincoln Clay returns in a new game. 5 stars. Somebody gave it a review of 5 stars a month ago somehow. I don't know how you did that. Can we look at the dates? Look at the dates on these reviews. This is totally sus. May the 3rd? That's a month ago. This is 8 days ago. Is this from Mind's Eye? How is this even possible? April the 12th. May 18th. How are there reviews for the game that are before the release date? There's a total scam happening right now. That doesn't make any sense at all. All right, here we are on the actual Xbox landing page of Mind's Eye. Reviews. There are literal reviews on here, and the game's not even out yet. This is a total scam job. I don't know how they did this. I don't know how they managed to submit reviews before the game is out. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's just literally people glazing the game because of GTA. They're like, oh, it's going to be great. It's a literal scam. This is playing out hilariously. We're playing this sucker in an hour. This would be a dadgum car crash if I've ever seen one. Hey, somebody ordered some coffee. Zuby ordered 3 bags of dark roast. Thank you so much, Zubair. We need to add this to the thread as well. Here, new project. I need a square. 1080 Instagram will be fine. Let's see here. So what we need now is we also need to tweet that it's getting reviews predating that are predating the release of the game. Can you do Xbox reviews for unreleased games? That's what I mean. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen this before. I feel like we have done a pretty good job of like tracking reviews and like seeing where games are landing. I don't know if I've ever seen a game getting reviews beforehand. So here's the problem with this. Folks are literally going to go to buy this on Xbox, and they're going to see a 4.8 and they're going to think, oh, this game is great. Like, that's a total freaking scam. You're basically lying to people. There are people that are going to go buy this game today on Xbox, and they're like, oh man, this game must be cooking. It's got a 4.8. Let's see. No, we need copy. Hang on. Edit, copy merged. See my tag in Discord? Hold on, that's on Xbox. If you bought the game, you can leave a review before it comes out. That's for any game. Right, people should be aware that that score is before the game is playable. I'm not saying the devs are doing it. I'm just saying people need to be aware that score is not representative of the game. Like, I'm not necessarily saying, like, oh, they're scamming people with the reviews. These are people that pre-ordered it because they love Benzies, they love GTA, and there are going to be people today that go to get it on Xbox, and they're like, oh, it's got a 4.8, it's already doing well. And it's like, no, these are just fanboys that left reviews. On average, that's not going to happen. People aren't going to pre-order a dadgum game and go leave it 5-star reviews. Thank you, creature. Give me a write-up. Give me you know the write-ups, how I like to do them. Check this person on X. What are they saying? Are they calling it out? This is insane to me, boys. HK. Who's this? HKDG8? What are they saying about it? The game is already out in Australia, and they're going to every stream and spam posting this. Hey, this is the Mind's Eye team. The game is officially available later, and Twitch is pausing early streams until then. If you can save this for later, it would be great. Thanks for your support. Yeah, they don't want anybody to see their rat crap game is what they're doing. They don't want anybody to see the dadgum thing. They need to maximize sales because the levee's going to break in an hour and 5 minutes, and we're going to be a part of it. I'm going to stream and be like, look at this garbage. They're literally trying to get people to not stream it who are in a time zone who can legitimately stream it. You can't stop them from streaming it. They're legitimately doing it. Embargo's the smoking gun. Telling people to not stream a game who can legitimately stream it because they live in a time zone where the game is installable. In before Lono loves it and his channel changes format. Yo, thank you so much, Cyber, for 21 months. Finally, you back at Twitch. I can use my Prime sub now. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Please buy my lemon sight unseen. That's right. This is literally not how any modern game release goes. What is this playbook? This is a playbook of red flags is what it is. That timer is for user reviews. They did that after a ton of gamers were review bombed on release. The embargo is up, just nobody got advanced copies. That's always how it is. So you can't review anything the day that it comes out on Metacritic. You have to wait. A $5 super chat tip from PWH down. Wait, so the game is out and is not playable for an hour? All right, hang on. I need to edit this tweet. How do I edit my tweet? Don't I pay for the ability to edit with Blue? My tweet's not accurate. It's not an embargo. It's oh, for frick's sake. Open image in a new tab. All right, hang on a second. Open an image in a new tab. Okay. New tweet thread for accuracy. The Mind's Eye game sent no review copies. Users hang on. New tweet for accuracy. I'll just do 2 images in one. The Mind's Eye game sent no review copies. And Metacritic doesn't allow users to review for 24 hours. That's a Metacritic policy, apparently. And Metacritic allegedly doesn't allow users to review for 24 hours. User score, Xbox user score is from fans who pre-ordered and have not played the game yet. I'll put seemingly sent. Seemingly sent no review copies, and Metacritic allegedly doesn't allow users to review for 24 hours. Xbox user score is from fans who pre-ordered and have not played the game yet. Okay, fine. Yeah. There we go. My tweet wasn't accurate. I thought that date for tomorrow was the embargo. I was like, that's insane. To be fair, none of this matters. Right, but I'm not about to have a tweet out there that states something that's blatantly false. There is no review embargo for tomorrow. They didn't send any review copies to anybody. And apparently, according to somebody, and again, this sounds sensible, it sounds believable to me, that Metacritic would say you can't submit a user score until the game's been out for 24 hours. Lono, please say rat crap more often. I don't even know where that came from. I was just angry and said it. Oh, you meant trying to read the tea leaves. I support accuracy. Yeah. I am very rigid on that. I don't like saying things that if that's not accurate, I'm going to delete it and correct it. I strongly disagree with the mob on this one and why I'm going to try it out for myself, but I find it weird why so many people who are not interested in the game are so interested in seeing the game crash and burn. Because people are sick of being lied to by developers. That's why. Corey, we live in a time where we've been burned many times, and the calluses on our hands are making us a little gruff when it comes to these subjects. You keep burning my hands. No, yeah, the stove's not hot. Go ahead and touch the stove. Oh, okay. Ow! The frick, man. People are getting tired of being burned, and they're gonna be angry if they feel like a studio's doing the same dadgum thing again. I'll politely remove my chat when the Mind's Eye stream begins. The game doesn't even hit 60 FPS on the standard consoles, bro. Come on, Corey. It's not even hitting 60 FPS on the standard consoles. That's inexcusable. You're releasing a game in a day and time where, that should just be the standard performance of a game. You got to stream and clip that message when it shows up. Well, I mean, I'm not going to be able to play it until it's noon, and so we're stuck. copy. I'm going to put this in my stream holding room. Oops. Okay, there we go. I'm ready. I'm ready, chat. Okay. In fact, we should schedule it in about 10 minutes. We'll schedule it in about 10 minutes so the 30-minute noti goes out. Because I think people are going to want to see this game. If you're watching on YouTube, guys, do me a favor. It's been a lighter turnout today. We're not even on topic because this kind of took over. But do me a favor and smash the like button. They haven't earned that level of charitability. If it's true, they are struggling to hit 60. Lono, they literally showed the game during the IO Interactive Showcase. What I saw makes me want to try it for myself. Not listening to anyone on their opinion on the game until I form my own. With all due respect, Corey, I don't respect that posture anymore in gamers. I don't. This idea that, like, I'm not going to listen to anybody. I'm going to make up my own mind. If there are people that can do, like, a tech analysis of a trailer or just, like, basic analysis of a trailer and point out flaws, things that don't seem right, things that seem fake, and they advise caution, that I think is completely respectable and legitimate. Plugging your ears and closing your eyes and being like, nope, I'm not going to let anybody sway me. I'm going to decide for myself. I don't really respect that. It postures like a respectable position, but I don't think it's respectable. It seems naive. What's wrong with making your own decisions? I think in this day and age that makes no sense. You've got so much access to so much gameplay, so much footage, so many looks at a game. Why would you plug your ears and eyes and be like, I'm just going to make up my own mind? Like, we clearly have seen games with trailers, reveals, gameplays, and all this stuff, and it's like you can see there are problems with the game. I went through the same rigmarole with people on the day before. Well, why don't you wait for the game to come out and then decide? Why don't you frickin' open your eyes? What are you talking about? It was obvious that game was a scam from jump, and there were problems with it. Like, I'm not saying you have to listen to analysis. I'm saying it just seems really naive to be like, I'm not going to listen to any analysis of a game before it comes out. I'm going to make up my own mind. Like, what? We're not talking about debates about turn-based mechanics or difficulty or the philosophy of the gameplay loop. We're talking about a game that doesn't look real. It looks like they're faking us out. It looks like it has blatant performance problems. Do you see the difference in category? I'm not trying to dissuade you from playing a game and say, it's going to be too hard. It's going to be cheap. It's going to be boring. It's going to be a walking simulator. It's going to be a snooze fest. It's going to be, a movie game. I'm not trying to do that. I'm saying this doesn't look like a game that is shipping feature complete and at quality. It looks like there's something wrong with it. That's the difference. You're classifying what I'm doing and what others have done with Mind's Eye as if we're trying to, like, kill a game before it comes out by, like, bashing it. It's like nobody's doing that. We're doing basic analysis as informed gamers, and we're saying this doesn't look like it's a game that's ready to ship. It looks like it's in really rough shape. That's the categorical difference. I'm not telling you game suck, game bad, game boring, don't buy game. I'm saying something doesn't look right here. He's not saying don't make your own decision. He's saying ignoring everything is not smart. That's what I'm saying. You can make up your own mind. Ignoring glaring red flags and flaws and issues and being like, I'm not going to let anybody dissuade me. I'm going to make up my own mind. That just seems really weird. We're not talking about a philosophical debate about whether or not the game has too many cinematics or is too hard or not hard enough. We're talking about a game whose every inch of footage that we have seen doesn't look legitimate, and they've handled everything incredibly strangely. They would not let people see actual gameplay or touch the game at the preview event. They watched a guy through like a virtual meeting. The CFO and the CLO quit. And then there's a conspiracy from the CEO that another company is paying for the game to be bashed. And then anybody with even a modicum amount of experience in analyzing gameplay trailers and gameplay reveals is like, something looks off here. And you're like, no, I'm going to make up my own mind. Okay. Why wouldn't you wait 24 hours and watch somebody play it and be like, yeah, that clearly is not a game that's ready? Put your feelings aside. What Lono and others are doing is letting you know what's up with the game to then make an informed decision. Yeah, like the reason I'm bristling at what you're doing is like you're casting what we're doing as like hate or like bashing a game before it's out, wanting to see it crash and burn. I'm just going to make up my own mind like you're on some better righteous path. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? Crap on the game after you played it, you imbecile. You typoed in your own sentence trying to call me an imbecile is a daring display of intelligence. Listen to what I'm saying. You, as a consumer, are in the strongest position that you have ever been, buying a game and being like, I'm going to make up my own mind. It doesn't make any sense. When a game already has signaled problems, you should wait and say, I'm going to watch some streams and some YouTubers. You don't have to listen to their opinions. Use your eyeballs. Like, the game's got clear performance problems. You just have to use your eyes. Ironically, we're talking about a game called Mind's Eye. Like, watch. You don't have to make up your own mind unless you can be at least compelled by the gameplay to be like, well, okay, at least it's working. Again, I disagree with the idea that every inch of the footage doesn't look legitimate. Again, they showed the game, actual gameplay. I don't need your opinion. I saw the game. I paid for the game. Okay. If you want to get pedantic about me saying every inch of the footage doesn't look legitimate, fine. You have to admit there are significant portions of what they have shown that don't look right. It doesn't look real. It looks like it's been fake or rendered or something. It doesn't look legitimate. We've seen so many gameplay reveals. I can't believe we're having this conversation again. There's no reviews. Nobody was sent copies of the game. They're trying to tell people streaming it in a time zone that are allowed to stream it to not stream it. I am not trying to make a game crash and burn. I'm trying to say, yo, pump the brakes. Why would you buy this right now? It's so clearly a problematic game. And this is what's going to happen. If it's even remotely playable, you'll have people saying, oh, there's a really great game here with some potential, and people try to tear it down before it even got out of the gate. They'll turn into some kind of a martyr. It matters not how you or anyone else feels about the game. I've been lied to and listened before, so now I understand how this person feels about trying it for themselves. You've been lied to about a game having glaring performance problems? We're not talking about whether or not the game is fun. We're not talking about whether or not the game is fun. We're talking about a game that has clear... It doesn't look like it's even remotely ready to ship. There aren't just red flags. There are red flags. Right. They're big, huge banners saying, man, be very cautious here. If they want to play the game, let them play. It's his choice. I'm okay with him spending his money to do it. I just didn't appreciate the way he was framing it. You're framing it like those of us are out here that have been hard on the game since moment one, like we're trying to bash it and people should make up their own minds. Are you freaking kidding me? We're being flooded with games right now. It is absolutely, I think, a noble thing to do to warn people and say, yo, that there's something off here. You might want to proceed with caution on this game. It's looked rough from jump. Preview event was weird. No review copies were sent. CFO and the CLO quit. The CEO is running a conspiracy theory in their Discord about people paying money to hate the game. And, the game launched and people in Australia are already streaming it and they're being encouraged by the team to not stream it. Like, all of those things, to me, that's a breadcrumb trail that leads to a pile of crap. I don't know what else to say. Like, if you want to make up your own mind about that and you want to look under the hood and be like, yeah, no, it is. It's a pile of crap. Like, that's your choice. But don't make it seem like I'm out here unnecessarily bashing the game and you're choosing a better path by making up your own mind. I think what I'm doing is completely legitimate. That's the reason that I'm waiting for you to play it so I can see myself. Hang on. Zubair said something that I wanted to read. I keep grabbing the wrong mouse. Zubair said, let's play Corey's advocate. If you have decided that you want to play and try a game, what value is there in listening to other people's opinions you're already going to purchase? Sure. And again, I have no issue with somebody saying, I'm going to decide for myself. He framed it up in a way that made it seem like those of us that have been dissuading people from getting it are like somehow we're doing something wrong or something. Maybe I misread what he said, but that's the tone that it took. It was like, yeah, I'm not going to listen to anybody. I'm going to make up my own mind. It's got that posture of like, you people are out here just hating, and it's like, I don't think that's the case at all. AOZ says, see my last comment. He wants to ignore a discussion of his peers, but insists on making a statement of his own is hypocritical. Well, he's not trying to convince people in either way, so I don't think he's being hypocritical. He's not trying to convince people to buy it or to try it. That would be hypocritical. If he was playing the other side of the coin, as it were. Hang on. True SSJ Havoc with a $5 super chat tip says, the amount of people acting as though the Xbox ROG Ally is an actual Xbox handheld when it's just a ROG Ally with an Xbox button is baffling. I didn't even make content about that because I think it's got to be one of the most brain-dead discussions I've ever seen. I didn't even want to enter that discussion. It's got to be one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Even like I saw a clip from a pretty hardcore Xbox podcast where they were both like, what's the point of this thing? Why would anybody buy this thing? Even they were like, this is not... it was Colt Eastwood. He was like, you can't even play all your Xbox games on it. He already has a ROG Ally. He was like, why would I buy this? They seemed completely shrugged about it. The people that are run with the narrative are like, I'm going to pay all the PlayStation games on an Xbox. Yeah, sure, Jan. Number one, you can't play them all. Number two, you're not going to play them at the performance they were designed to be played at. Like, you're going to play them on a handheld? Yeah, enjoy Ragnarok. It'll be thrilling on that thing. Are you freaking kidding me? You can just buy and play the game without letting anybody know. Manhunt was banned in Australia? What? Everywhere game developer raises $110 million in Series D fund. NetEase funded crap, says Paul. They got hundreds of millions in investment, so that team has been living it up for years. This was just last year. They got over $100 million more. If anything, they scammed the investors. You know what's crazy too, Paul? I said this. I called this. I called this from 18 universes away. When that Everywhere game trailer hit, however many years ago that was, I said that just smells like a scam to me. I was like, it reeks of NFT bro energy. I was like, I don't know what this is, but that's not a game. And it sounds like they took their scam to the investors, and they're like, oh yeah, we're basically going to build a metaverse where people build games and we make money on it. And these are the guys that made Mind's Eye. When Everywhere debuted, I told you guys, I was like, this is a scam. I don't know what this is, but this is not a game. And they came out like a day later and like, it's not going to be an NFT game. I'm like, well, whatever it is, I don't want any part of it. And they went and got hundreds of millions in funding, and this is the first game they're building in their Everywhere universe, or whatever the frick they're calling it. Man, I would, if I was even remotely involved in investment in that game, I'd be picking up the phone right the frick now, and I'd be like, yo, we need to figure out how to get our dadgum money back. That's what I'd be doing. All right, I'm scheduling the gameplay. It's funny, too, because, like, the exact same thing happened with the day before. It's like whenever I call out these games for being obviously bad, not ready, scams, or something, everybody always acts like I'm just being a hater. They're like, yeah, there goes Reforge hating on a game that's not out yet. And it's like, man, shut the frick up. Like, you got to be kidding me with this nonsense. Like, every time this happens, you're going to act like I'm in the wrong. Creature says, please, for all that is holy, play this live for the crowd. Okay, hang on. We've got a tweet. The video shows there's a lot of fake hype from influencers for the ROG Ally. At the end, the market will decide. A $5 super chat tip from True SSJ Havoc says, everyone I talked about the ROG Ally with them using his console war fuel, I asked them one question. Can you install Halo 5 natively? Okay, so what is this video? Okay, so this is a video of them revealing the handheld, and I guess people are live reacting. Let me pause my music. What?
Holy moly. Wow, this is real. Natively from the cloud. Guys, look at that Xbox.
Their faces. Their faces.
There it is again.
Look.
Natively from real. Holy.
What is his face?
Guys, look.
This man right here. This man right here. This says it all. He says, man, what the That's a freaking ROG, bro. That's a ROG. This man's face says it all. He's like, huh? Why is everybody excited?
Look at that Xbox buy it right there. Silksong. There it is again.
Hey, we got another one. We got one right in the front row.
Xbox buy it
Right here. Just, huh? Wait, huh? Are you serious right now? Look at their faces.
Silksong.
They're like, huh? What is this thing? It's not, listen. I'm not trying to analyze the emotions of people in a setting like that where they probably don't even really realize they're being actively filmed. But, like, everybody was hyped, and then they saw it's just an Asus ROG. They're like, wait, I don't understand. Like, it completely sucked the energy out of the room. And the guy from IGN yelling, we manifested this? What do you mean? What did you manifest? What did you manifest? It's an Asus ROG Ally with an Xbox button on it. Like, listen, man, I don't know, bros. That thing is gonna go down in history as an interesting experiment for sure. Of course, it was IGN. Yeah, it was an IGN live fan fest event or whatever. It's an Xbox console. Stop it. No, it's not an Xbox console. Homie, you can't even play all your Xbox console games on it. What are you talking about? Calling it an Xbox console is quite literally a lie. It is not an Xbox console. You can't even play all your Xbox console games on it, brother. There's like 1,000 games you can play on it or whatever the list is. Yes, you can. Homie, no, you can't. You've either been completely misinformed or you're just in here baiting to try to get a clip. Most of it? Wow, that changed really fast. Look, that was a record time of, yes, you can play all of them, most of it. Wow, that was really quick. So it's not an Xbox console, bro. Good golly. Like, calling that an Xbox console is just absolutely, that has got to be one of the worst takes on this device, man. Even the hardcore Xbox guys are saying what it is. They're like, it's just an Asus ROG Ally that was already in the market. A $2 super chat from Alex. I'm sticking with my Steam Deck. A $5 super chat tip from True SSJ Havoc. For context, When I saw it from King Thrash, they were excited until the ROG showed up, and the silence was deafening. I bet it's $900. And again, Halo 5. A $5 super chat from P-Dub H-Town says, this will be DOA like those who claim the Portal will be. Only play anywhere games, which is a minority of games. Not just Xbox games. Steam has way more games than Xbox. I need you to understand something, Zig, or Ziguel, or however I'm supposed to say your name. This product has already been in the market, brother. You could have bought an Asus ROG Ally prior to that conference. You can buy it right now. It's not some new device, not some new mythical device from on high that's going to empower you to do something new. It's that you could already have purchased this thing. We have to wait and see when it's out to talk about it. It's still an Xbox. Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah. It's an Xbox, boys. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, man. I know the OS is new and stripped down. That doesn't change its capabilities to suddenly do something that the new one can't. I'm sorry, that the old one can't. There's nothing about it. There's nothing about it that quote unquote makes it an Xbox. A button on it that has the Xbox logo doesn't make it an Xbox, dude. I can slap a BMW, sticker on my Honda van. It doesn't make it a BMW. It's still a Honda at the end of the day. It's stronger. I mean, it being marginally stronger is not the debate. We're not arguing about the strength of the device. We're talking about capabilities, El Duderino. It's not something new in that regard. It's not like, oh, now I can play this or now I can do that. You can buy an Asus ROG right now. You can just go buy one at Best Buy. Why, though? Because that's a different discussion. We're not talking about how well it can run games. Why does that matter? Okay, you're having a really hard time keeping up, El Duderino. A man in chat said it's an Xbox that can play all your console games. We falsified that claim. This is a continuance of that discussion. Now that you're all caught up, you now know why it matters. So quit with the pedantic non-questions. It's clear why it matters. A brand new device was announced at an Xbox showcase, and people are describing it and talking about it in ways that aren't accurate. That's why it matters. Don't do that condescending crap with me every day where we're talking about something and you get smacked around and you're like, well, why does it matter? Or why are we talking about this? Ask yourself that when you type. It's clear why it matters. People are talking about this thing in ways that are so disingenuous and false and misleading. I don't understand what's so hard to see about why that's not an interesting topic for discussion. One of the biggest companies in the world announced a new handheld that's not really a new handheld. Like, it is, but it isn't. It's like, it's just another Asus ROG. I'm not even bashing it. I'm just putting it in its proper category. Its proper categories. It's a new Asus ROG. They've stripped down the OS, and even some of the more hardcore bleed green guys are like, I don't really see what the point of this device is. People being disingenuous about what it does. Right. Don't enter the conversation and then be like, what does it matter, if you don't even understand the context of why we're talking about it. A guy in chat literally started the entire debate by saying things that weren't true, brother. If you weren't here for that, you could ask the question, what started this? Why are we talking about this? And I would have answered your question. You jump in mid-swing, and then you're like, well, what's this matter? We weren't talking about the performance of the device. That needs to obviously be tested, sure. That's a different discussion entirely. That would be a discussion about, should you get this over the Steam Deck, or should you get this over an existing ROG that's already in the market? Yeah, they manifested it. We manifested this! Huh? Did you watch the Asus and Xbox in-depth video? No, I have no interest in the device. It doesn't solve any problems that I have. It doesn't give me anything that I couldn't already purchase. I have zero interest in it. Huh? The OS will be available on all PCs and PC handhelds, so even its new thing isn't unique to it. Did you hear the guy's voice crack? Yeah. So you're saying PS Portal, it does matter. You can buy some better right now. Why are you invoking the PlayStation Portal? The PlayStation Portal is a completely different device. It's a remote play device and a cloud play device. It's not a native handheld. Invoking the Portal doesn't make any sense. The Portal is a $200 remote play cloud play device. That's its purpose. And getting added cloud to it and the cloud library increasingly growing means you buy it for $200 and its value increases over time. It's a completely different thing. It's basically an additive accessory to your experience. Or if you're never really home and don't even have a PlayStation, you could buy that thing for $200 and play quite a bit of games through the cloud. That's a nice device that could solve certain problems. If you're looking for an actual handheld, the Portal would be a terrible thing to purchase. I would never recommend anybody get the Portal who's looking for an actual genuine handheld. If you want a genuine handheld, I'd be talking Switch 2 if you love their games, a Steam Deck, or the highest end ROG Ally you can get. This thing that they're adding to the market, from a marketing perspective, it doesn't make any sense to me. Even Cliffy B called it out. He was like, this is some of the worst marketing ever. It's just bizarre. Legion Go is a good handheld. Yeah, the Legion Go is another one. Like, if you want an actual handheld, there are actual handhelds in the market. The PlayStation Portal is not intended to be that. It's not intended to solve that problem for anybody. That's not what it offers. We don't even have a price for it. We can get an approximation. There are existing devices in the market right now. This thing's going to be, if it's more powerful than the existing models, it's likely to then be slightly more expensive than them. I mean, I think that's a logical take. I don't think this thing's going to be cheap at all. This thing's going to be in the $900 range. It has to be, because there's other devices in the market right now that we know the price of. So you're bringing a device to the market of console gamers that you sold a Series S to, and a Series X on a spectrum of price that was at launch. What was it? It was $300 to $500 or whatever it was. I don't even remember the launch prices of those devices anymore. Because it was $300 and $500, wasn't it? And you're going to bring out something that's basically almost $1,000. I don't know. The whole thing is bizarre to me. And the attempt to contort your body into a backflip of a win is to make this some kind of a W. I don't get it at all. Xbox being a major manufacturer, they can certainly find ways to lower the price. I'm counting to 10. They're not manufacturing it. Golly. They even say that in the video? What video? Are you telling me there's a video that states Microsoft is manufacturing this instead of Asus? Where did you get this information? Asus is, but they are partnering with them in the in-depth video. Oh, Lord. Lord with a T. Golly. Listen, you have to understand, this partnership is to have Asus make the device and load the stripped down OS on it and have a button on it so that Xbox has a quote-unquote branded handheld in the market. Xbox and Microsoft are not manufacturing this. Listen. This isn't a key. You might think this is like a hair split. It's not a hair split. The reason this is important is you have to see This is going to be the road that Xbox takes if they feel like this is far more lucrative for them, because it's more cost effective for them to not manufacture hardware, because if it doesn't sell that well, they're not sitting there with raw materials and production lines. Okay? So, the concern you should have if you're like hardcore bleed green Xbox guy is this could literally lead to them exiting hardware entirely and just having other manufacturers make stuff, and you just basically load their OS onto it. So whatever you end up with in the future, whatever console they end up building, this PC hybrid or something, it might not even be made by them. Like this is the potential future of their quote unquote platform. It's sort of evaporating. It's like, if anything. It's almost like Windows is growing. It's almost like Windows is cannibalizing Xbox. Like this big, huge amoeba just kind of wrapping itself around, and then Xbox kind of disappears. And you're like, oh, I'm interacting with like a Microsoft stripped down OS that then allows me to play games, Game Pass, Cloud, Steam. And like, it's like Xbox has just kind of disappeared in that transformation. Like as a platform, that's what it feels like is happening to me. That's what I've been saying, says El Duderino. Trill Troll with a $5 super chat. Shout out to the Xbox marketing team. They really got people believing everything is an Xbox. This needs to be studied. I'm not even championing Xbox. I've been saying it's just going to become Windows. Well, I mean, we are all... Not we are all. A lot of us have thought that and have said that. Like when I said Microsoft killed Xbox, and we all basically said like the next stage here is it'll just be Microsoft gaming. And the idea of Xbox. How long? 26 minutes till I'll be able to play Mind's Eye. Not gonna lie, this is like people reviewing Mind's Eye without the game being available. You're not even watching the video. Not saying what you're saying is wrong. Wait. There's no new information in the video that changes anything what I'm saying. It would only be worth watching the video if it would falsify any of the claims that I've made. Even the people that are on Team Green and have watched all the videos and are informed about this device, nobody is saying anything different than I'm saying. Why do I have to go watch a piece of marketing to talk about it? That just sounds like this weird thing that like Clippers and haters try to do to me. They're like, yeah, well, he didn't read every page of the document. Back when we covered ABK, I'd have these numbskulls come in here and be like, yeah, but you didn't read every page. You didn't look at every single page. It's like, what the frick? Nobody's doing that in a lot of these instances. You don't have to do that. You didn't watch the video. I got to watch the video to talk about this thing? We know what it is. We want you to see how misleading it is. Why? For what purpose? For what purpose? Xbox is marketing something that's already in the market, and it's going to have their button and operating system on it. What more information do I need? Microsoft Gaming sounds good to me. Like say Xbox is turning all Xbox players into PC gamers. I think they're turning a lot of them into PlayStation gamers, dude. I've seen so many people posting on Reddit and Twitter that they switched teams. They went and bought themselves a PlayStation. It makes Xbox people believe it's something that it's not. Xbox wants you gone. It's like McDonald's selling a Captain America themed blue Big Mac and Marvel fans claiming that Marvel just invented burgers. I never mean to be annoying, but you know I'm here to get smacked around. I just want to have fun and talk about stuff with you, even if things we disagree on. Right, Deuterino, you only irritated me because you were like, you asked a question like, well, why does that matter? And it's like, homie, you just entered the middle of the discussion. It's at some level, that's kind of rude to like jumping in the middle and you start arguing something, and I'm like, that's not what we're talking about. And you're like, well, why does that matter? And it's like, man, ask why we're talking about it first, and you would have been like, oh, some idiot in chat was saying stuff that's not true. That's why we're talking about this. And you wouldn't have gone the route that you went. You know what I'm saying? Like, you flat tire sideline chat for a minute, and then you're like, well, why does it even matter? And it's like, oh my gosh. You understand my frustration? It's a safe assumption it was started by some idiot in chat. Yeah. And I say that with love. Like, I'm not actually calling the guy in chat an idiot, but like, what you said was pretty idiotic, bro. Oh, sorry. Twitch, you're probably getting ignored. I'm sorry. I don't have my combined chat app. At this point, the PS5 might as well be an Xbox. I look forward to Sony manufacturing the next Xbox. The AMD Ryzen Z2A processor is not that well, but we'll see how it runs games. Can we go back to the Coke and McDonald's analogy, says Raijin. Yo, I missed a Prime sub over here. I'm so sorry. I didn't have Twitch pulled up. Yo, YOLO y'all. The member count has literally stalled out today. We've gotten 2 members today. So the battle is not even a battle. We've been debating so fiercely. We're not doing any members. So make sure you guys are doing your resubs. Make sure you're doing your re-ups. You could do some gifteds. It is there for the taking. The next milestone is 325, and I'll owe your platform 5 members. They claim it will play AAA titles. Yeah, of course it will, but that's not the point. I mean, I want you to imagine. Hang on, I don't even have the right window open on my freaking on my Discord either. Detective Seeds retweets Gaming Riot, who said Mind's Eye is releasing today, but apparently the Xbox patch won't be ready in time. Blame PlayStation, says Detective Seeds. Probably a super secret exclusivity marketing deal. Havoc over here on Twitch renewing for 2 months, and then a gifted member from Gavin on YouTube. There it is. Come on, let's get a little movement here in the fight. Let's get a little movement here in the member count, and we're ahead of the curve, which is good for you guys. It means you'll unlock even more stuff for Friday night. Working on a song right now for Friday night. Lono's hair run runs better than the handheld. I don't know what that means, but I'll take it. Asus, MSI, and others making small gaming PCs. I just get one of them to build a PC around an AMD PU and slap the Xbox sticker on it. DK Beggar with a gifted member, one of the other single gifted gods around here, and he bumps the line to 309, and the member battle is now at a dead even tie. Thank you so much, Mr. DK Beggar. Wired Rope says, check your primes. Winning by 1 is still winning. The Ryzen Z2A is the Steam Deck processor. I figured it was a scam. How do I block sender? June Awakening is now available on Steam. Joker Quinn gifts a member. One of the other single gifted trains out here. The Twitter scams are starting to show up in email now. They're like, you just have to go and download the DocuSign app. Like, there is no DocuSign app that I need to download on desktop. You just do it through the browser. You want me to download an executable that's going to give you all my info so you can hack my accounts. I'm planning on getting the Ally X because I wanted a device that can use Steam and also play the Xbox games coming out that should be Xbox Play Anywhere titles. I want to play Dune. Yeah, Dune looks like a promising MMO. It's just not something that I would spend any time in. I just don't have time for MMOs. Seeing Gears of War on my PlayStation dashboard, surreal. Thank you, Jerry A, for 6 months. I cannot add you guys to the total over here unless you're on Member Plus. If you are a member to my YouTube channel, I need you to double check that you're at the appropriate tier. Member Lite's the gifted tier. Now, if you need to stay at Member Lite because people are gifting and you're getting the gift, I'm happy to have you stay on gifted. But you guys that pay for your own memberships, there's a lot of you that you're missing out on content by not upgrading. Has anybody made this joke? I really think we need that. We need this joke made. I need that image. Xbox Showcase calendar. I need that image where they put the PlayStation logos all over it. I wanted to make a joke. Can somebody find that image for me? I didn't tweet that image, but I have a joke that I really want to make. I think it'll work. I think it'll work really, really well. I can't find the image though. What's the joke? Well, I have to be able to show you the image in order to make the joke. I think you should link your stream so they know where to watch the hate play. Congrats, Lono. You made the Mind's Eye Reddit. I did? Oh, yeah. Let's pull this up. This is great. This is great. Oh, I don't think I can make the joke. Yeah, never mind. I can't make the joke. All right, here we go. This is great. Beware of hate farming from YouTubers this week. There is a very famous grifter. Well, first and foremost, I just really want to thank everybody who helped me achieve this status of very famous. It's been a long road. It's been 10 years. I got canceled. I've got reinstated, and it took a very long time to get to the status of very famous. And so I want to thank everybody who made this possible. Most importantly, me, because I'm so amazing. So a very famous grifter, capital G grifter, who will hate play it today. He is known for doing this. He did it for Starfield. I hate played Starfield. I actually bought the Starfield Collector's Edition and played it on Steam where I could get 60 FPS. And I've even got a stream on my channel of me coming around and starting to actually like it. But yes, I just hate played it. The irony of calling me a grifter while you just sit on Reddit and lie is just incredibly interesting. He sits around selling coffee. Yes, I do. Please go to reforgeroast.com. It supports me and my family. And begging for tips and goals, by the way. Listen, I don't beg for tips. I have goals for members. Get it right, freaking idiot. His biggest views before it came out, he said, it wasn't a real game. I actually never said that. It is never coming out. I actually never said that. Yes, he literally didn't expect it to come out at all. Yeah, I never said that. I said, it wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't come out. And I said, it doesn't feel like real gameplay footage. It feels like fake footage. I never said it wasn't a real game. Because people came in and they're like, why are you saying it's not a real game? And I'm like, I actually never said that. I said this looks like fake gameplay. Because it does. The same exact thing happened with the day before. I had weirdo Defense Force lunatics who did the exact same thing with the day before. You're going to see when it comes out. Yep, I sure did see. It was a fake freaking game, and they used fake footage to trick us all. Mind's Eye reviews go up today at 3 p.m. Really? Hot dogs bark. That's an amazing typo. That is. Is that the lead developer under an alias? I don't know. I I love the idea that, like, I hate played Starfield. You know? I think that's my personal favorite. If you go and you search Starfield on my channel, I have a Is It Good debate. I have, let's see if I can find it. I'll probably have to search for Starfield gameplay, because that's what I named those streams. Gameplay second try. Let's see. Where was the one that I said? Yeah, Starfield, how to enjoy it. I streamed that stream and told people how I changed my approach to the game because I was starting to enjoy it. Yeah, but I hate played it. Starfield, it could win Game of the Year. I argued after their one direct. I thought, man, there's something here. They might actually have something here, and then I played it. Right here. Starfield is winning me over. That's me hate playing Starfield, all right? So I made content telling people how I was enjoying it. I made content saying it was winning me over. Do you want to know what happened to Starfield and why I stopped playing it? I played a superior product. I put like 26 hours into Phantom Liberty, and I was like, this is just so much better at all the things that Starfield tries to do. I can't go back. So, but yeah, I hate played it. You only said that to appear neutral. That's right. Yeah, I made all those streams, wrote all those monologues, made all those thumbnails just to appear neutral. Yes. The video tab for Starfield tells an even different story than that. The video tab? What's the video tab look like? Well, I can't even remember all the things we've said about Starfield in the uploads. Rising from the Ashes, just getting started. Are those the ones? Is that what you're talking about? Did you even talk about Death Stranding 2 or Mind's Eye took over instantly? I think we talked about Death Stranding 2 for maybe 10 minutes. I had a guy get really, really mad about my Xbox stream yesterday. He's like, how is this even a reaction to the event? And I'm like, that's what like the first 10 to 15 minutes of the show was. It was my reaction to the Xbox showcase. I guess he was mad I didn't literally rewatch the entire thing and react. I don't know if that would have been worth doing. Our Starfield coverage was actually about 50-50 positive negative. I think one of the reasons that the Starfield coverage from us is so split down the middle is I was extremely anticipating that game. Like, it was one of my most anticipated games. I was very much looking forward to it, and I think I was kind of like desperate for it to be good. I wanted it to turn it around. Even when I went back and I tried to play it to get ready for Shattered Space, I was like, maybe I didn't give this a fair shot. And I just couldn't get into it. The game just oozes boredom. I'm like, I literally feel like I'm watching paint dry in slow motion. Like, I can't do this. I put 500 hours into Starfield and like 60 hours into Cyberpunk. And I remember the days when I defended Cyberpunk from all of you. Good times. I still stand by my criticisms of Cyberpunk's opening. I still stand by that. I still think the opening is terrible and they make it really, really hard to enjoy. And I also think that Phantom Liberty is a literal, like, confirmation of everything I said. All right, I replied to his beware of hate farming thread, and I said LOL, be sure to tune in when I stream it. It would be a real shame if that ended up being, a very upvoted comment. That would be really unfortunate if that were to happen. You know? Holy frick. I don't even know what my profile looks like over here. View profile. Add a social link. How do I... Social links. Here we go. YouTube. You know, just in case any of them want to catch the show. Just in case, boys. I'll put in both the Twitch and the YouTube. There you go. Where does it put those links? Oh, there it is. Social links, YouTube. Okay, I see them. There you go. This is going to be a generational stream. It is. It is. I need to get the PlayStation in here because we got 7 minutes. We're gonna have to find something else to do for an hour. I can't play it for an hour and 5 minutes. It says it's not noon, it's 1. That's a really weird time, but that's what it's saying on my PlayStation. Oh, hang on. This guy left a really good comment. Let's read this. This is good. This is good. Thank you, Sven. This is good. It says, "Oh wow." Oh, hang on. I hit F11 in the wrong frame. Oh wow. Somebody's really upset that people don't love this dumpster fire you helped build. Newsflash: disagreeing with the poorly balanced, glitch-ridden game isn't hate. It's just being honest. Maybe instead of accusing everyone of hate farming, you could grab a cup of coffee, since you're selling it anyway, and ask yourself what went wrong in development. Hint: if your hot new release feels like reheated gruel, blame the recipe, not the Yelp reviews. That's good. That's good. That's pretty legendary right there. That was a solid response. That's good stuff. Lono managed to piss off the Starfield Mind's Eye fan base. It's a small demographic. Someone's already saying it's crap on the subreddit. I don't. You can't hate play a game. OP is probably a Mind's Eye developer. Look at his post history. He bashes anyone who gives constructive criticism about the game. The fact is simple: the game is boring and lackluster. Yeah, these guys have been really, peculiar about the criticism about their game. They have been. They've been a bit peculiar. Today is the most boring Tuesday for news. What's the matter, Nick? What's the matter, Nick? What's got you so down in the dumps? This one was good too. People put so much stock in somebody else's opinion. Open link. Whether the game is good or bad, it's not hard to remove yourself from caring about what others think if you believe things are going to get out of hand. Basically, learn to log off for a while. That's right. That's right. Nick says, I'm struggling. Hang out here for a little bit. We're going to play Mind's Eye in an hour, and it's going to be great. It's going to be so good. It's going to be a disaster. I can't freaking wait. VR Developer Direct is going to have RoboQuest. I'm really interested in how RoboQuest feels VR. It's a pretty fast-moving game. It's kind of low-key pissing me off, though. They pushed out an update, and my wife and I keep getting these lag alerts. Like we're lagging, and then last night she got disconnected from me, and our run was over. Being honest, I have no idea what Mind's Eye is. You're okay, True Assist, J Havoc. You're not missing much. You'll see it in a little bit. I'm confused. A few days ago, it was reported that Xbox was deprioritizing the handheld. Now the handheld's all over the news. Was this reported incorrectly? No, it was reported correctly. You just missed a very important part of the reporting. Xbox put their own manufactured handheld on hold, and we're still going forward with the Asus ROG. So, 66,000 so far. 69. Wait, what happened, Nick? Let's see here. Chris Toast out here posting knee thirst traps. 69,000. This. The Xbox Showcase. 2.1 million views. Do you get money from images? Are you even Twitter Blue? Jiminy fricking Christmas. You know what I mean? What's going on here, bro? Is this the tweet you're talking about? If the ROG Xbox Ally is an Xbox, why is the designer talking about putting an Xbox button on an Asus Ally? Oh yeah, because it's an Asus Ally. Yeah. I mean, I don't even think the hardcore guys are trying to go to bat for that thing. Doc Dark says, Xbox tax, we're bringing this back. Can't bring back something that never left, Doc. It never left, Doc. The Xbox user base has been paying an Xbox tax for the last 5 years. Who's going to bat? The fringe, like I mean that, like, it's just like a small rabble of people on Twitter that are still fighting the console war. Like, most people have just been like, Jor Raptor had a really interesting tweet. Lono Asus says ROG, not ROG. I looked it up a while ago because I'm a pedantic a-hole. Yeah, well, they can be morons and call something that clearly spells something by the letters. Like, that's stupid. That's like we call what the architecture for the mobile, the ARM processors or whatever they're called. I said ARM, and people were like, "Why don't you just say ARM?" And I was like, "Okay." ROG. I respect you living by your own rules. Yeah, nobody will tell me how to talk. So Jor Raptor says, let's just pull up the tweet. I like Jor. Jor Raptor says, kind of wild that even though Microsoft basically went third party, there are more console warriors on my timeline than ever on both sides. If they would put all that effort into something more useful, they would actually be a pro in that field. Don't you mean J-O-R? I'm sorry, J-O-R Raptor. Use his voice. I can't do his voice. And the interesting thing is that I think the reason that you're seeing more activity on both sides, right? Like the PlayStation guys are definitely having fun with all of this. They are. They're having a blast. And the Xbox boys are they down real bad. They down real bad. I just think it's I honestly think this is what it stems from. I think when it was fun and playful and people were sort of like comparing game lists and things like that, there was more of a joviality to it. And now I think it's just drenched in misery. You know what I mean? We can tell the way that you say Vince D'Onofrio. I swear I've always said Vince D'Onofrio, and then someone's like, you're saying it wrong. And then I changed the way I said it, and then someone's like, no, it's supposed to be Vince D'Onofrio. And I was like, I used to say his name that way. Yeah, D'Onofrio. Like, I don't freaking know anymore. I can't even remember how you're supposed to say his name. I said Vince D'Onofrio for the longest time, and then people were like, no, it's D'Onofrio. D'Onofrio. Vince D'Onofrio. D'Onofrio, yeah. 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 Vince D'Onofrio. D'Onofrio, yeah. D'Onofrio, yeah. Emphasis on off. D'Onofrio. Now say automaton. I can get automaton now, thanks to Helldivers. Automaton just made more sense to me, like automobile. Automaton, the automatons, the automobile. Like what? D'Onofrio. I never said D'Onofrio, and somebody corrected me and said that's how you were supposed to say it. They literally got me to say it wrong. Anyway, no, I think the console warring, I think so much of it's just driven by misery. Hi there, I just found you and couldn't resist. Wink. Yeah, I know. You looked at my timeline of a joystick piece of clip art and you thought, this guy's gotta be packing. Has anyone played The Getaway? Mind's Eye would be dope if they went that direction. But yeah, I think the console war is very much being driven by the people that obviously lost and feel very much betrayed. I thought I saw like somebody over there, like all of a sudden, and it was a Borderlands poster. Like the air movement from the air conditioning must have caught the corner of the poster and like moved it. And I was like, all of a sudden I was like, somebody's moving in my office. Like nobody's in the home right now, just me. But yeah, I think that's largely what's driving it. I think the guys that, you know, went really hard in the paint for Xbox, they're just very miserable and unhappy right now, and they feel betrayed. And so they're being very spiteful, and they're being very nasty. And then I think there are people who, you know, obviously feel like they won the fight, and so they're gloating. You know, I think that's what's driving it. I need to reschedule the Mind's Eye stream. I thought that we were going to be able to play it. Hang on. Sorry, gang. Was 1 hour off. Rescheduling back by 1 hour. Let me edit the video. Start time's now 1. Clevelando with 9 months in America Plus. Celebrated the birth of my daughter last week. Fitting to hit 9 months in the same month. Yo, congrats, man. And thank you so much for being with me that long. The member count today has been very subdued. Nobody's really swinging or going for the wins or going for the milestones. We haven't hit a milestone yet, so if you guys feel like doing that, you can. We're well ahead on pace for the week. It's only Tuesday. I just hate when someone disagrees with something Microsoft does and they're automatically labeled a pony. Well, right, like that's what's been frustrating this entire journey, into Variety Gaming News coverage for me is I constantly was pulled into the orbit of that nonsense and turned into something that I'm not. Oh, he's an Xbox hating, Xbox bashing pony, and it's like, no, I'm not. And they're like, yeah, he gets really triggered when you say that, and it's like, I get triggered by falsehood and lies. Maybe you shouldn't be like a peddler of them. You know what I mean? Like these people that just deal in falsehood. It's like it's like calling me a woke loser. It's like, what the Like it's not true. I'm not triggered by being name called by petulant children. I don't like things that are dishonest and inaccurate. I watched a dude go on for 10 minutes about how Final Fantasy going over to Xbox was not a big deal, but he talked about it over and over again. Which one is it? Yeah, I think Final Fantasy going to Xbox is going to confirm why they will, probably continue to not put things over there in the future. I'm sorry. They're going to go right back to being like, yeah, there's no reason to do that. That's a complete and utter waste of time. I'm sorry, but that's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to walk into the next generation and this relationship and putting Final Fantasy on Xbox, it's going to turn into a big nothing. I don't think anything's going to come from it. It's not going to sell well. I don't think that platform is going to be receptive to those titles. Not to the degree that it would justify doing it. You hate it when people lie, even if you hate or disagree. Yeah, that's generally what I get triggered by falsehood super fast, like probably to a fault. I probably get too angry and too thrown into righteous indignation about it. That is the quickest way to trigger me, is to say something that isn't true. I hate it so much. It's never going to happen again because since it's not on Game Pass, most Xbox people won't spend the money. I don't think it's going to suddenly become a priority of Square Enix to be like, we need to make sure and put Final Fantasy over there. I could be wrong in my prediction, but that's just my prediction. I think they're going to conclude that it wasn't worth it. So, Lona was tall. No, I'm not. 187 says I'm not getting it. Look, bashing Xbox again. There's nothing in what I said that's bashing. It's a prediction. I think that consumer base is going to behave in a way that will drive Square Enix to be like, this isn't worth it financially. That's just basic analysis and a business prediction. If you think that's bashing, I don't know. I can't help you. Like, the bar is so low for people to feel like their platform is being bashed. Like, so sensitive and just so insecure. To be like, oh yeah, that's you bashing Xbox. When are you going to finish Black Myth? Probably never. I have no interest in playing that game. It runs terribly on my Pro. It runs horribly. A VIP renewal from Lancelot. Thank you so much. My sister was surprisingly old when she learned that the Bee Gees were not in fact a group of black women, just some white dudes singing falsetto. You could see the gears in her brain grinding. Nick says, Xbox fans are stuck choosing between either buying Final Fantasy, supporting Square Enix, which they claim they hate, or boycott it, proving why Square was skipping Xbox to begin with. Well, see, this is why I've always given credit where credit is due when there's a game that is good. Like, so Indiana Jones, I'm like, great art direction, great work, beautiful game. What I would argue is a good game. It just wasn't for me, right? South of Midnight. I gave South of Midnight a bunch of praise. I said I really, really hope they fix the combat because it was a pretty glaring flaw in the design of the game, and that if it ever comes to PlayStation, I would probably roll credits if they fix the combat. So you see, I get to remain consistent. It's not like these guys out here who bash and lie and mislead people. There were tons of people that misled people about the combat in Final Fantasy 16. There were tons of people who misled people about the performance of Final Fantasy 16, arguing how bad it was. And now they're out here flip-flopping, acting like, oh, great game, great performance, can't wait to play. And it's like, see, you can't be consistent because you're a liar. You're more interested in winning points with your team and just saying things that are false than just being honest. Like, every single time I played an Xbox game, if I felt like it's good, I gave it credit where credit was due. So if it ever comes to PlayStation and I decide to get it or buy it or give it another go, I'm not being inconsistent. Why did I not get Indiana Jones when it came to PlayStation? I just had no interest in it. I was like, it's not a game for me. Testing it on the Pro made no sense. Yo, thanks, Nick, for jumping back in with the Member Plus. I appreciate the support. See, that's what grifting is. The irony of the people who consistently cast me as a grifter, they're the grifter. They literally say what they don't believe because their audience captured, or they're so brand loyal that they've smoked their brain stupid. So they say things that are absolutely dumb. They run with false narratives. They'll lie about Spider-Man 2 being glitchy. They'll lie about the combat in Final Fantasy 16. They'll lie about everything. And then when the games come to their platform, or when you can play the game on PC or whatever, then all of a sudden the game is good and worth playing, and haha, I can't wait to play it. And it's like, you're the one grifting. Anytime an Xbox game has delivered something that I felt like was at quality, I gave it its due praise and gave it a fair shot. So that in the future, obviously, if those games ever were to come to the platform where I primarily play, I would be like, well, no, yeah, I'm buying it. I gave the game praise back when it came out. Why would I not? Like, if I was big into racing games, I'd be all over Forza Horizon 5 on my Pro. I'm not into racing games, so I didn't buy it. Like how all of a sudden people were loving Death Stranding. Yeah, all of a sudden Death Stranding wasn't a dumb, boring walking simulator. It was really great. Why? Well, because it finally came to your platform. Racing games, or as Lono calls them, car games, or repeatedly running into wall games. Car games. I wonder if people who play racing games get upset by that. He calls them car games. Like, I should start calling fighting games punching games. The latest punching game from Marvel and PlayStation, Marvel Tokone Fighting Souls. There's a lot of punching going on in this game, and I don't really play punching games. Or as Porterwalk calls them, turn left games. Yeah, you just got to keep turning left. Yo, Stone Spire. I know what Stone Spire's going to do. He says, guys, it's been all quiet on the Western Front here. We need some single members, and he's going to do it. He's tempting that 10 bomb to the milestone. We haven't hit a milestone yet today. I have not had to pay a single 5 bomb. Make this hit 325, and I will owe whoever does it. Whoever hits it gets it. I will owe you 5 members on your platform. Hey, Lono, have you seen the leaks today that there's a Halo game with a new retail API listed for PlayStation? A known Halo data miner has reported this on Twitter. He mentioned that usually the retail API means an announcement is imminent. An announcement's imminent. I mean, yeah, Phil seemed to hint that something's happening next. And Cardock Ren steals it. There it is. YouTube got caught sleeping, and it goes to Twitch. I now owe Twitch 5. And there it is. See, this is what I want to see. Make YouTube work for it, Twitch. Come on. Don't just let them win with resubs. Make them work for it, man. I'm going to now gift the 5IO over here on Twitch. Twitch is still doing a discount on gifted members. Microsoft's going to sell everything for $80 in the PlayStation Store, aren't they? It's going to be an interesting experiment, that's for sure. It's going to be an interesting experiment, that's for sure. Open link. Open link. Lone Wolf says, I don't know about that. They put some Final Fantasy games over there already and they didn't do well, and they're still getting 16 and 7 remake. Yeah, those were already in the pipeline, Lone Wolf. Maybe their expectations are different for these two. No, those were already in the pipeline. I'm predicting that when we go into the next gen, we go into the PlayStation 6 gen, I don't think that relationship's going to turn into anything. I don't think you're going to continue to see like a Final Fantasy push on Xbox. We all know what it looks like when Lono drives. Hey. That's AI propaganda. That did not happen in Helldivers. I am a good driver. Some might say I'm a great driver. You've been pre-approved for Hitman the Banker Pack. Yeah, I appreciate that, but that's not going to be for me. Meet the indie RPG. Okay, hang on. No. Let me close that. Okay. Bros driving in Helldivers. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never driven in Helldivers before. This sounds like propaganda to me. Not the highest sales is still sales in a shareholder's view. No. Sales are not what they're going to look at. They're going to look at return of investment, Jake. They're going to look at return of investment. It's not just like, oh, we got sales. They're going to be like, okay, well, was it worth it? We spent time and money and resources to do that. Was it worth it? Did we get good return? And I don't think they're going to. If the ROI is there, it's worth it. Yeah, my prediction is simply that the ROI will not be strong enough to continue, especially when you've got other projects and other games and other things that you want to bring to the market. The last thing you're going to want to do, like, okay, let's imagine that you're working on a Final Fantasy game right now and it's going to come out in 4 or 5 years, okay? That's a PlayStation 6 game, is it not? Are you really going to want to add that to the bandwidth and the development pipeline and the production of the game to build it for the Series S and the X? If it's a cross-gen title and it lands on PS5, PS5 Pro, and the PlayStation 6, okay? It's a cross-gen title. It stands to reason it would be a cross-gen title. Because if you start development now, you're using the existing dev kits, right? And we're going to have over 100 million PlayStation 5s in circulation by the time the PlayStation 6 is out. So you've got over 100 million people that are going to be potentially buying your game. You're not going to turn your back on the PlayStation 5 gen that fast, okay? So you think, I don't think they're going to want to do it. I think they're going to say, no, it's not worth it. They literally are on record saying they were able to push FF16 to the very limits because they designed for the PlayStation 5. They built for one system. It benefited the pipeline. It benefited the game. So they're not going to reverse course on that because I don't think they're going to sell enough copies of Final Fantasy on Xbox to make them change their approach. Now, porting later, maybe, because as Shuhei Yoshida said, I believe he said this. Was he talking about porting or was he talking about PCs? I think he was talking about porting to PC. You basically print money. The cost to port is not that great. So yes, they may bring games later. They may continue to do that. I don't know if you're ever going to see a big giant mainline Final Fantasy game lands day and date on PlayStation and Xbox at the same time. All I'm doing is business analysis here. I don't give a hoot and a holler if they do it. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I don't care if PlayStation games go to Xbox. That doesn't matter to me at all. I've always argued the business sense of it. And the business sense of it is, I don't think you would add that to the pipeline and the workflow of a Final Fantasy game, because I don't think they're going to sell that many copies of the games on the Xbox. Porting later, I'll give you a maybe. But this relationship with Square Enix, I don't think is going to turn into what so many people are hoping it will turn into. I don't think it's going to turn into day and date Final Fantasy games on Xbox. You're always going to be basically the second fiddle. And even then, I don't know if they'll do that. Because again, I don't know if this endeavor is going to do much for them. And an agent of chaos from Brian31, he moves us past the milestone of 325 to 326, and he bumps it to 10. A little bit of a friendly contest between Twitch and YouTube today, and Twitch is winning on the rare occasion that happens. Yo, what's good, Draxon? Do we have any other shows or places for reveals anytime soon? No. So any kind of imminent announcement about Halo coming to PlayStation, Gamescom maybe? Isn't Gamescom typically like in August? Gamescom 2025 is August 20th to the 24th. So that's 2 months away. It tends to go quiet, and then releases tend to start to drop. So end of June is Death Stranding 2. And then there's also games in July. Mind's Eye goes live in 36 minutes. We will be playing it. It's installed on my PlayStation 5 Pro. There are circulating rumors that the Halo announcement could take place at HCS in October, which is where they announced Project Foundry last year. That's not a bad prediction if they have a habit of making announcements there. If Microsoft doesn't want to be second fiddle for Final Fantasy games, they need to make a deal with Square Enix to release a title that focuses on their platform and make it worthwhile. I don't know how you would get any party to agree to that. Getting Square to agree with that would be really, really difficult. Getting Xbox motivated to spend that money would be really difficult, because they just don't seem to be focusing on that kind of thing anymore. You know what I mean? Like, trying to get that kind of a game for your platform from Microsoft right now, they don't seem to be focused on that even in the least bit. Like, they don't seem to care about growing the console, so why would they go and spend that kind of money? And then, why on earth would Square agree to it? I believe both parties involved would be like, this is the dumbest thing ever, why would we do this? Their hardware is doing so terribly this gen. I can't see anybody agreeing to that, and I can't see Microsoft writing the check. The amount of money you'd have to compensate Square for the absolute terrible sales that the game would get compared to when it would launch on like a PlayStation. Like, everybody acted like Final Fantasy 16 selling 3 million copies on one platform was like bad. And it's like, have you seen all these other games celebrating 3 million as if it's this huge achievement, and a lot of those games were on multiple platforms? Like Doom celebrating 3 million players, but didn't even sell 1 million copies, and everybody acts like that's not a big deal because it's on Game Pass. And it's like, Final Fantasy 16 was on one platform, just the PS5. It wasn't even a cross-gen title, and it sold 3 million copies. Like, in that first month or whatever it was, whatever the time frame was, and everybody acted like that was a fail. And it was like, what the frick are you talking about? Riddle me this, Batman. If that's bad and that's a flop and a fail, how in the world are you going to convince Square Enix to make a mainline Final Fantasy for Xbox if 3 million sales with their opening was bad? 1 week, 3 million was bad. What the frick you think you're going to get on Xbox? Jiminy Christmas. That's why you don't say stupid things. That's why you don't do business analysis of sales from a fanboy position, because you end up saying dumb stuff. What classic retro games do I need to have my PS5, like OG 8-bit arcade style? I don't know. I don't really play a lot of the old 8-bit games, you know. They got that retro thing on Game Pass, and I went and looked at all the retro games on my Nintendo Switch too, and I'm just like, I got no interest in that. Spider-Man 2 is a fail at 15 million copies sold or whatever is now according to some. Yeah, I mean, what the one guy come in the one day and say that like Spider-Man 2 had flopped and didn't make its money back, and it's just like, man, I don't know what bottom of the barrel content creators you're watching that are running with that narrative, but I would unsub immediately because they're just lying to you. Somebody's saying here, I honestly didn't expect this to come across this today, but I can now officially confirm a Halo game is coming very soon to PlayStation. As of now, there's no sign of a version going to the Nintendo Switch. They're digging into the API. It's unclear which Halo game it is. Apparently, it's a new ID, so it's not related to the Master Chief Collection or Infinite. It's the Combat Evolved remaster or remake or whatever it's going to be classified as. All right, in about 30 minutes, we're going to Mind's Eye. So let's keep it going. I've got some questions that were submitted today that we haven't taken just yet. We've got Mind's Eye Game of the Year chances, 0. Green Ninja, would it weird you out if you played an Xbox Game Studios game on your PlayStation? Does the logo freak you out if it's not on Xbox? No. I played Doom the Dark Ages on my PS5 Pro, and I enjoyed it. Buckeye Plays says, wouldn't it be fair to say that having the Xbox brand officially part of the ROG Ally would draw more of the casual gamer base than the ROG Ally or the Legion Go, which are PC brands and are more hardcore? I would have to assume that that's what Xbox is trying to do here. Well, price point's going to be a huge factor in that not working. You're talking about casuals, right? Remember when the PlayStation 5 Pro being priced at $700 was this giant controversy, and no one's going to buy that, and casuals are just going to ignore it? You remember that? This is going to be more expensive than that. So the Pro is a scam at $700, but this thing is probably going to be around $900. Oh, but it's going to be worth it. Because you can play remote on the handheld? Like, really? You think that's worth that? I mean, if it's worth it to you, go for it. Value is subjective to the consumer. But it's hilarious to me to watch people run scam narrative on a $700 price on the Pro, which is insane value if you look at the performance of the device and what you have to spend in PC lands to get that performance. It's a really great deal if you actually argue intellectually and technologically and logically and not stupidly. But now these same people are going to act like this is a huge win, a $900 handheld that's not even remotely as performant as the consoles this gen because it's a handheld and it's going to lack the power to do that. You're paying for the convenience. So you're going to get casuals to buy this device when the Pro was DOA, stupid, and a non-starter, and no one's going to buy that, but they're going to buy a $900 handheld? I mean, talk about dizzying logic. You see what being inconsistent gets you? It gets you into absolutely buffoonery situations where it's like, you sound dumb. Like, what do you even say? Not you, Citizen JV. I'm not talking to you. This entire narrative about the Pro is a joke, it's $700, it's a scam, casuals aren't going to buy it. But now you're going to have people out here running Defense Force on a ROG Ally that's probably going to be around $900 because it's got an Xbox button on it? That Xbox button better make me dinner, because if not, I don't see the point. It's like, why would I buy the device? Unless you're really in the market for a handheld, then great. The stripped-down operating system is probably going to be a nice uptick in just being able to navigate, and handhelds are certainly a product that appeal to some people. But to talk all that junk about the Pro, and here's the thing, this will more than likely be put into content maybe and get clipped. And what they'll do is they'll distract from the fact then I'm making good points. And they'll say, he's still butthurt about the Pro and people calling it a scam. See what they'll do? They'll project emotion, so they'll cloud the issue and not engage with what I'm saying. We had to hear, you want to talk about emotion, we had to hear all this seething and mauling about the price of the Pro instead of analyzing its power and comparing that to the price difference of a non-Pro and saying, well, is it worth the $250 extra or not? Especially when you're going to trade in and you only spend like $350 to upgrade. Like, is it worth it? Like, can you do that sort of a lateral, or not even a lateral? Can you do that sort of an upgrade in PC land and get that level of a performance boost? Like, is it even possible? Nobody did the actual technical, logical breakdowns. Everybody just did the emotional response, rage bait crap. And then the rest of us were sitting here trying to be factual about it, and we're the ones that are labeled as ponies and fanboys. And it's like, yes, trying to be truthful and factual is a fanboy these days. When all your content is bloviation and obfuscation and dishonesty, well, then the truth has to be bad. So you're going to label anybody that's just speaking truth and being factual as a fanboy and a grifter, because your currency is basically, you deal in the currency of BS. So everybody else has to be, a fanboy. Well, now what are you going to do? You go from talking about how a $700 Pro unit is a scam and is stupid and is not worth it and is going to be DOA and casuals won't buy it. Well, yeah, good luck defending a $900 handheld that won't even be close to the performance of a console you can buy right now for like $400. Like half the cost of this thing. Half the cost of this, X Ally, you can buy a console that'll be way more performant. Now, if you're like, oh, but the convenience of going handheld, didn't we just spend a bunch of time belly aching about the price and raking Nintendo over the coals for their $450 Nintendo Switch 2? But it's a handheld, right? The performance issues make sense because it's a handheld. Well, no, not when it's Nintendo. But when Xbox does it, this thing's, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like you're not even trying to do analysis of these devices and what they're capable of. Convert currency to BSD, please. Thank you. Huh? Yo, Brimstone, thank you so much for 10 months. Thanks for jumping back in. And over here on YouTube, thank you, Machiavelli, for 14 months. So the Xbox handheld's a ROG Ally with an Xbox name slapped on it. Yes, that's what it is. And if you want to count your re-up in the battle or in the milestone, you have to be on Member Plus on YouTube. It's $6 instead of $5. Yeah, we'll be playing Mind's Eye in about 25 minutes. Citizen JV says, if and when Halo does come to PlayStation, which Halo game do you think will jump over? I think the most likely thing they're going to do is they're going to follow the same pattern that they're following with Gears. You foster a new fan base with the remake of the first one, of the one that's changed everything, right? Like if you look at what they're doing with Gears, that's what I think they're doing. That Gears Reloaded looks incredible, and I think a ton of people are going to buy that on PlayStation. I think a ton of people are going to buy it on PlayStation. I think it stands to probably sell more copies than Halo will, but, that's just my prediction. I think Gears stands to be more popular with the PlayStation audience than Halo will. We will see if I'm right or wrong about that, but I think they're going to follow a similar pattern with Halo. You do a remake or a remaster of one of the best ones. You go back and grab the first one, right? Combat Evolved, and you get everybody pumped. And you do the remake, the remaster, whatever they end up labeling it, shipped at the PlayStation, get everybody stoked, and then you have the future Halo announcement or future Halo things, Master Chief Collection, who knows? I don't know. Mind's Eye is 30 FPS. You won't enjoy it at all. Oh, it's going to be a car crash, Geoff. Apparently they target 60 on the Pro, which is where I'll be playing it. Halo will definitely 100% be more on PlayStation than Gears 1. I don't know. I really mean it. I don't know. I think Gears looks and feels like a game that PlayStation people will vibe with. Classic Halo? No, I don't think so. I could be 100% wrong on this. I think people have rose-colored glasses when it comes to that classic Halo feel. I don't think it will vibe as well with a modern PlayStation audience. I think Gears will do significantly better. All right, guys. Stone Spire is going to set something up here. He wants a 20 bomb. He's going to do 3 singles. I know what this man's doing. He's so faithful with these single gifteds. He's going to make this hit 330. He wants a 20 bomb to 350. Whoever hits it gets it. All right, YouTube, this is your time to shine. It's your time to turn it around. Or 2 of you can tag team on 10 bombs, or a bunch of you can do 5s. It's about to happen. Get ready. We can have a little bit of a hype gifted train before we go over and play some Mind's Eye. You know, give me some love for going through the pain today for you guys. There it is. There's the 330. There's the last single gifted from Stone Spire. It's up for grabs. It is up for grabs. And the member battle is now 13 to 14. Thank you so much, Stone Spire. None of the heavy hitters have been out in force today, so the glory is there for the taking. This is a side-by-side comparison to be accurate. There is no way they sell this for anything less than $800. It's stronger than the ROG Ally, which is now $900. Watch PS5 Pro gameplay. It's 30 FPS at that. Oh, golly. I flip-flopped the entirety of the 360 PS3 gen. I only have a PS5. I'll be buying both Halo and Gears whenever they come out. I know I now have 13 terabytes rocking in my PS5. I think you're partially right, hence the rumored remake, says Ravenous Gojira. Microsoft has to do the Master Chief Collection on PS4. I feel that would sell like crazy. I just don't know, boys. I just don't know. I like, my gut. You are cool. I love your video. Thank you. My gut is that the PlayStation audience is going to take one look at classic Halo or a Halo Master Chief Collection, and they're going to go, I'm good. That's been out for a long time. It's never really been my jam. Gears of War, however, there people are going to be like, yo, that looks hot. I got to play that. Because I think Gears 1 will age better than Halo Combat Evolved. And people are not going to like that take. They're not going to agree with that take. That's totally fine. There's room for disagreement here. I'm not bashing or hating. I'm saying Gears 1 remastered will age significantly better than a Halo Combat Evolved remaster. I'm just here to tell you, in the realm of the modern audience, like the modern gamers right now, they're going to boot up, grab the sticks and play. I think Gears is just going to appeal to more people because it looks like a game that would come out today. Halo's got it just has a dated feel to it. It really does. Yeah, there's no sprint. There's no ADS. All the things that people love about that classic Halo feel, golly, they feel dated. That's a very woke take, if I say so myself. What? What's your name? I go by Lono in these spaces. You can call me Lono. I don't know, man. I think they'll love the campaign. Halo 1 was in 2001. Gears 1 was in 2006. Check last comment. This is true. Lono, when you inevitably try to stop playing it before 30 minutes go by, just remember it's for science and push a bit longer. I'll do my best. It's nice to meet you, Eli. How old is your account? Okay. Nice to meet you, Eli. Be careful out here on Twitch, my man. Don't be giving out any more personal information than you have. I've been following the Mind's Eye Reddit, and the people who thought the game looked good is hilarious. Now some people that played it off the day one patch have nothing good to say about it. The deniers are still there, though. Campaign's goated. As I said, this is hard to hear. I think you guys, you Halo guys, have rose-colored glasses with Halo. I do. Halo Combat Evolved. I'm just here to tell you, I don't think it will age as well as Gears. I just don't think so. As somebody who played through those Halo games with a friend or sibling, I love the co-op. I remember playing PvP Halo in the college dorms when we figured out how to plug them into the LAN and the wall. I'm just here, man, I am here to tell you, I just don't think so. Now you want me to resent you today. Your love of Halo is admirable. I think it blinds y'all a little bit. I really do. I think I can be more objective because, like, I just sort of enjoyed Halo for what it was back then, and I didn't, like, fall in love with it heads over heels. Gears of War was a transformative game, as was Halo, but Gears of War transformed things that we're still doing today. Halo, in its original inception, how they designed it, like with no sprinting, with no ADSing, like with none of that is... You don't really play games like that today. You'd be like, wait, where is all this stuff? Where's all the modern amenities? Gears has those modern amenities. You've lost your mind, Lona, no offense. I still play Halo games and they're still great. I'm telling y'all, the sales reports are going to come out, and I think they're going to back me. I think Gears will do better. It will sell better. It will get better engagement on PlayStation than like a classic Halo remake or a classic Halo remaster. Halo was monumental. It was monumental. It was disruptive and transformative. It also will not age as well as Gears. I think both things can be true. GoldenEye was monumental and hugely influential. And you play a remaster of that, and you will see what I'm talking about. There are some games, you go back that far, and you play them, and it's just like, Okay, I want you to imagine something. Imagine somebody who has never played Halo playing that game right now, remastered so that it looks nice and it runs nice, but they don't make any other major changes because it wouldn't be Halo Combat Evolved if they did. Imagine somebody who's never played. What do you think they're going to think of the game? What do you think is so special about that? You're remembering it when you played it at a time where, like, it was mind-blowing to play it. And now when you play it, if you played it today as a brand new player, I'm here to tell you, I do not think people would see it in the same way. I don't think they would. I didn't play back in the day. I don't really. I just played the first 5 missions of the campaign recently and loved it. Okay, but again, that's anecdotal. I'm saying the masses are going to respond more strongly to Gears than to Halo. That's what I think. It's been a really, really long time. And these are homies that have never touched it, never really cared to play it, you know? And I don't think they're suddenly going to be like, yeah, well, you know what? I've changed my mind, man. This is hot. Gears is another category. I also think Gears is going to appeal to the PlayStation audience because it's third person. I think that's in its corner. I think Gears being third person is in its corner on PlayStation. I think there's going to be sort of just a latent schema of acceptance there. Oh, this is hot. This is hot, dude. This is a cool game because it's third person. It's so many of the games that are super, super popular on PlayStation are third person. They're literally mocked for it. All they do is third person movie games, you know. Right, it won you over, Lone Wolf. I'm not saying that nobody will like it. You have to listen to my prediction and remove the emotional response, right? Anybody that talks about games I like, I have an emotional response, right? You got to remove that from the equation. I'm not saying nobody will play it, nobody will like it. I'm saying I think Gears is going to outperform it. It will be more popular. I think Gears more naturally flows in to the play style and the preferences of the PlayStation audience. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Halo's going to flop. I'm saying Gears will be higher on the chart. Like when they do like total up the sales, I think Gears will perform better. Now you start dropping multiple Halos and then the comparison gets harder. You bring Halo Combat Evolved Remaster and the Gears of War Reloaded Remaster, you put those suckers side by side, I think Gears sells better. Boom, there it is. Pound for pound, the first of each gets remade and remastered and brought up into 2025. I think Gears performs better on PlayStation. I think the PvP alone will give it an edge because I think PlayStation audience will vibe with it more than the PvP in Halo. I agree with Lono. Halo lovers, PlayStation ain't Xbox. Halo 1's getting remade. Yeah. Now, The only way I would amend my prediction is if they remade Halo 1 and transformed it. I mean, if all of a sudden it has sprint and ADS and it's like a completely different game, well, then my prediction would have to be modified. I'd have to play it and see it. But if they just remake it and it's still just Halo, no sprint, no ADS, slow movement. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. You're going to be cutting people in half with a chainsaw in Gears. And you're going to be like throwing grenades and slowly shooting at enemies, or PvP players. It's just, they're not even in the same hemisphere as how we play and experience games now. A question here from Camille. I know Mind's Eye is going to be trash, but is there any redeeming qualities you expect to see at all, or is it entirely going to be a meme fest? As far as I can tell, the cutscenes actually look very good. Yeah, I think the cutscenes look really good. Everything else looks like hot caca. Keep the story, remake the rest. There's no way they wouldn't put a sprint in it. I mean, that would be a pretty big departure from what the game originally was. The mouth movement and the cutscenes look bad. I feel like I saw a recent cutscene that looked really, really good, Yana did. So maybe I don't know. I mean, I saw a cutscene, I think it was yesterday, and it was like, that looks pretty good. But then the rest of this doesn't look good at all. Hot caca, rat crap. That's right. I remember we had this debate before, and you Unreal Tournament guys were never big on Halo, but to the younger kids growing up, Halo was just something else, even if it wasn't completely original. Right, but here's the thing, Deuterino. It was like the first time people experienced GoldenEye, or the first time somebody experienced Perfect Dark, or the first time somebody experienced Time Splitters. Yes, this is where the metamorphosis principle comes into play. You experience something that is so incredible and new, and at that stage of your life, it was mind-blowing. That 100% shades and affects your memory of it. It does. 100%. Like Turok, as an example. I remember Turok 1 very differently than the game actually plays. And I was playing it on my PlayStation, and it was nostalgic and fun, but I'm like, if you would have asked me to describe the game and the experience and what I enjoyed about it, I wouldn't have probably done a very good job. And I'm here to tell you, your memory of Halo when it first came out, or your first experience of it, and I know Lone Wolf's going to say, oh, but it won me over recently, it won me over. I'm not saying that everybody's going to play it and hate it. I'm saying it's going to be more likely to just not appeal. I want you to imagine somebody watching a trailer for Gears and then watching a trailer for Halo Combat Evolved Remastered, and I want you to think about the average PlayStation owner. Which game do you think they're going to gravitate towards? I don't think my prediction is scandalous or hateful or even out of pocket. It's just like, I think one of them looks like a game from today and one won't. The movement, the gunplay, all of it. I think it's going to be very hard to make Halo Combat Evolved look like a game that like from right now. Like Gears, that trailer, I'm like, that was a game that would come out right now. Okay, we got 10 minutes. I need to take a quick break, and we're going to get into Mind's Eye, okay? But I need a quick break because I need to bring the PlayStation in here, and I need to use the restroom. So I'll be right back. I'm going to run some ads. Guys on YouTube, help me out. Try to get us to 300 likes. We're at 275. The 20 bomb setup from Stone Spire is still sitting here unclaimed, so you can claim this with 2 10 bombs or a bunch of 5 bombs. Go on a little tear there. Keep us ahead of pace, so the end of the week is just a big celebration, all right? I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss it. Okay. We just got to make sure that all my capture card stuff is working. Because it wasn't. Okay. Then we got to make sure audio is synced. Okay. My wife and I have gotten 11 hours out of RoboQuest Co-op. I'm 12 hours into Expedition 33. Here we go. What happens when Lono boots up the game and gets dev banned for 555 years? We heard that? You didn't hear anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's get a tweet out there. Halo has 18 games. Gears has 6. Huh? Oh. You guys are talking about sales, maybe? All right. All right, I'm getting the tweet sent. I'm Love So Hard if he actually gets banned from Mind's Eye. I mean, if they want to go Barbara Streisand effect, dude, I'll take the ad revenue. Go for it. You know what I'm saying, y'all? This is one of the better synthwave songs that the AI has made. No, you have not missed me streaming it. I'm about to. And let me put the member count down here. We're still 20 away from the next milestone. We're way ahead of pace. You guys are crushing it. Twitch. I'm going to have to pull Twitch on the upper browser so I can see what you guys are saying. I still don't have my combined chat. I need to get the combined chat app on my gaming rig. I haven't done that yet. So, there we go. Chat, I'm going to put a link in chat, and then I'm also going to redirect you. Could we get 10 more likes on this video before we leave it? Let's get to 400 likes before we leave this behind. We can get on with it here. We've seen your thing. Are you seriously going to be one of those games that you don't let me go to the menu first? You open with a cutscene? This is an enormous pet peeve of mine. Like just starting the game. Yeah, you're not going to let me? Like I can't go to the main menu first? Jiminy Christmas. Okay. We got a lot of graphics options here. Off. Difficulty medium. Okay. All right, the link in chat is where we are going. Okay? So head over. I'm also going to redirect. All right? Let me stop my mute. Well, I'll let the music play. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I am diving in brand new for the first time into Mind's Eye gameplay. I will be playing on the PS5 Pro. We have heard about performance issues, not even really hitting 60 FPS on the Pro, basically being a 30 FPS game on the standard PS5. I've been very skeptical about Mind's Eye gameplay. Since the very first Mind's Eye trailer, I felt that the gameplay was very fake and sort of trying to trick people into looking like something that it wasn't. We're hearing that there are pretty significant performance issues. This is also attached to a game or game hub thing called Everywhere. I remember when that trailer debuted, I felt like it was a scam or something. It had NFT bro vibes. I'm going to end the previous stream talk show that we had. I'm going to bring people over with redirect. Make sure as you guys come over